wherries, Olive, Narada and Hathor, all of which they've lovingly restored, and they now charter. And Peter's with me now. And Peter, I'm going to get this darn pronunciation of your boat correct one of these days. The boat we're on at the moment, the where we're on at the moment is called
Hathor.
Hathor, which I believe is an Egyptian name, is that right?
Yes, it's an Egyptian goddess of all sorts of things, love and joy, and there's a long story behind it.
Did you name her that, or has she always been called Hathor?
She's always been called that, very definitely.
Right,
do you want the brief history?
Yeah, go on, give us the brief history.
Well, she was built for two Coleman sisters, as in mustard.
Yeah.
They had a younger brother, Alan, who died on a boat out in Egypt. And the name of the boat out in Egypt was called the Hathor, and this wherry was built in memory of him, hence an Egyptian goddess floating around on the very Norfolk Broads.
Was this originally a working boat?
No, this was built for pleasure. The hull could have been a working boat, but sometimes they reckon they just built them and they decided later on whether it was going to be a trading wherry or a pleasure wherry. But we know this one was built definitely for pleasure right from the start. Now,
I believe you used to be a school teacher. What was the attraction? Have you always been attracted to boats and water as opposed to classrooms?
Well, I've always lived here.
Yeah.
I can remember the two wherry yachts that we see ahead of us. I can remember when they were moored just round the corner and used for, well, they were used as houseboats then. And I suppose as time went by and the only wherry you were likely to see sailing was the Albion, I thought it would be nice to get some other wherries going. And, well, no, not some other wherries. I bought the Olive, basically, and restored that and started sailing her again.
How many years did it take you to restore something like this? Because, let's face it, the craftsmanship and the work and the actual materials that go into restoring something like this must be phenomenal.
You never restore them, you just keep doing it all the while. With this one, she'd been used as a houseboat. This is a Hathor we're standing on. It took us 2 winters basically to get it in commission again, but I'd hate to say that we'd finished restoring. You don't. It's like the fourth bridge.
Yeah,
you just keep going.
You finish one bit and you start again.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, just tell us briefly about the other two boats. Were they working boats at all? Were any of those working?
No, they were wherry yachts, which were basically pleasure wherries that were designed to look more like a yacht. And in fact, they were built just round the corner there, Ernest Collins' yard. They were built as hire boats, so really they're certainly the oldest example of the hire boats now on the Broads. Went out with a skipper and a steward who did everything, cooked for them, got the boats around and everything, and have struggled on to this day. We don't do everything, we sail them round, but we don't cook for them.
Yeah, now you charter these boats out,
yes,
of course, don't you?
Indeed.
Who do you charter them out to? I believe schools are a speciality.
Yeah, I mean, we charter them out to people, basically, all sorts. We've just come back off a school's cruise. I believe you saw us early with couple of dozen kids on board from Coleman Middle School who've been extremely good and thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
How long were they on there for?
They were on from Monday to Friday. We do a sort of package for schools as a sort of special offer.
And were they sleeping on the boat as well?
Oh yes, yeah. They've been with us all the while. And tonight we're all out on weekend cruises with ordinary people. And then out again on Monday with a school cruise, and so it goes on. Right.
What sort of things do you obviously think it's a good part of the education for children to get on a boat like this? And basically, judging by the rundown of things you've told me about them, look after themselves, because as you said, going back to the golden days of cruising, you had a steward and everybody else to look after you. But these kids really have to muck in, don't they?
I think that the main thing they get out of it is a social aspect, learning to live together and survive together in very cramped conditions, and come out smiling at the end of the week. As I often say, it's got to work. If it doesn't, it's a disaster, and it always works. It has to.
Is it a bit of an advantage you being a former teacher?
Oh no, I keep quiet about that. I don't know who told you.
We have our spies. Well, Peter, thanks for joining us this morning. A boat like this, I mean, we've got the mast and everything. The sails, a good day for sailing the boat? It was
too much wind today.
Too much wind.
If you look up there, you'll see it's blowing in the wrong direction anyway. We don't need a lot of wind. People, I think, are under the impression that you've got to get
a layman like me.
Wind.
Yeah.
Nice gentle breeze. That's all we want. These boats go well in a nice gentle breeze, particularly when we've got youngsters on board. But we've sailed here today from Salhouse. We got here.
Are they hard to handle? And do the youngsters get involved very much in the actual steering of the boat?
That's why there's unfortunately too much wind. It's been blowing all week this week, and they're only 12-year-olds, so it's been sort of fairly limited as to what we've been able to get them to do. They winch the sails up and they help as much as they can. But if you get a light breeze, then they can do virtually anything, because everything's that much more easy.
Excellent. A lovely setting here at the moment. Thanks very much for joining us, Peter.
Pleasure.
And once again, you can give us the name of the boat we're on.
Hathor.
The lovely Hathor. I knew we'd get there in the end. Thanks for joining us. Peter Bowell there from Wherry Yacht Charter, and that is almost just about it.